Deep Things, a Prayer of St. G. Eternity is the form of the divine existence. Here it is you dwell, the atmosphere that surrounds you. And what do we experience? We are not to expect that the eternal is a prolongation of the temporal, but the temporal rather an anticipation of the eternal. It should be noted that there is an evil side of the eschaton, the end of all things, death and the final destiny of the soul and of mankind as we know it. This evil state is also an eternal state, as men have always believed, yet have wanted not to believe. It is the end of ordinary reality, which will be seen to have been temporary in the extreme, and even artificial in the sense that it is not spiritual. It is true that those who believe Jesus Christ, the Son of God, God Himself, lead spiritual lives of a semi-conscious sort. Our minds and hearts dip out and into that eternal stream, which itself is a constant. And we do not chide ourselves for this semi-spiritual life. It is the way of all flesh, reflecting our current incapacity to live the reality of the eternal life. If you were to objectively place its essences before us, we would yet not apprehend them. Though a physical heavenly paradise is set before us, which we cannot somewhat envision, we cannot conceptualize a new way of living, thinking, or being. There is no gradualness to this occurrence. As prophesied, it is a catastrophic interposition of God to cause an end to the world and to separate the wheat from the tares. You are all things, and through you are all things. We exist for your sake, and into whose hands it is fearful to fall for those who disobey you, a consuming fire. You, the God who wrought wonders in history for the salvation of your people. All the scriptures are of supreme importance because they speak of acts objectively done by you and experiences of them had by men. On these, the whole structure of Israel's religious relation to you and ours is built. Of greatest significance among events in which the eternal enters the temporal is your sacrifice on the cross. For it is known that the Lamb was slain before the foundation of the world, as was our salvation, election beheld by you. As we behold that sacrifice in prayer and in worship, we begin to see our life in its two aspects, seeing also the eternal spiritual nature gradually replace the temporal material one. The cross is represented as effecting an absolute separation between two worlds. Though your whole life was sin-bearing from beginning to end, at the cross was made manifest that you had become sin for us. Truly, this was eternity entered into our time-infused, material-based life, as to completely overwhelm it. We may hope that, in a sense, our lived history is erased. Yet it is known that we will be the same person formed by you over our lifetime. We will live a physical life with the physical Christ in a physical world. We will likely know our mother, all kindred and all the people from earth carried up. Certainly you who knows all, certainly forgotten will be those not with us, as their outer darkness is away even from you, who knows all things. The east to west disappearance of sins actually committed vanish in eternity. Among the mysteries we do not understand is this: the crucifixion and resurrection of Christ were acts not exclusively intended to reveal something in man, but primarily intended to serve some definite purpose in reference to the Lord High God. The Son of God rules the world to come. He is called both David's Son and David's Lord. Thus, messianic sovereignty must cover the world to come, as David is subject to it. Distinctively, this whole truth lies between this world and the world to come. Light belongs to the day, hence the day of the Lord is deliverance, joy, blessedness. The darkness of death is a great enemy, a shadow over human existence, more terrible than any other shape or form to be encountered in the spiritual world. It is God who says, "The soul that sins, it shall die." In temporal death, the body is cut off from the source of its life, that is, the soul. In spiritual death, it is cut off from the fountainhead of its life, the living God. In practice, we have the tablets of the law. In spirit, they declare your attributes, eternal things. By them, a new and holy Israel is made ready for God. Everything in the world is ruled by thought and possesses ideal significance. Blind, purposeless being, without any thought at all, does not exist. Your decree is one, and it is directed toward one supreme goal, the glorification of your name, which is your person. If humans object to this idea, it reinforces that we do not really know who you are. All things derive their certainty and beauty from your one decree. We are conscious of standing at the turning point of the ages, living in the very presence of the world to come. The currents of air from this world and those from the world to come are constantly intermingled. The new age has begun to enter into our actual experience. We are raised with Christ. In principle, we have been translated into the higher world of the new eon. Let your kingdom come. Let your will be done. Amen.